You're joking, aren't you? It's the Teesside Chef. Easy butter chicken curry, no messing, as good as a takeaway, and you'll be able to knock this up as quick as that Usain Bolt. Start by chopping 2 chicken breasts into bite-sized pieces, and I meant you'll be able to do this curry as quick as Usain Bolt runs. Not as quick as he cooks. I mean, he might cook quicker than you, I don't know. I'm using metaphor. Season the chicken generously with salt and pepper before adding a teaspoon of turmeric, or curry powder if you have no turmeric, to coat the chicken before mashing the whole thing together to evenly distribute that seasoning. And this is all so easy to put together, you'll feel like you're cheating, just like that Ben Johnson. Do you remember him? Drugged up to the eyeballs he was. Yellow eyeballs he had, didn't he? Any chew, I've popped 2 tablespoons of cornstarch into the chicken there, and I'm going to mix that to coat the chicken well. And this cornstarch will make our chicken so soft and juicy that when it's cooked, you might lose all leave of your senses, because as we cook the coated and seasoned chicken in a pan with plenty of oil on a medium heat, the cornstarch inhibits the proteins on the surface of the chicken from toughening up and also locks in the moisture. And if you ever cook chicken like this, you might have noticed a pool of liquid in the pan after cooking. If you did it without velveting the meat first, well, guess where all that liquid is now? After I've cooked it for 6-ish minutes. Yeah, it's still inside the chicken. So now that's boxed off in a little bowl with some foil covering it so it carries on steaming. Let's carry on with the sauce now, which means chopping a medium onion finely, or rather 2 small onions in this case, because I forgot to get onions at the Aldi, but luckily I found these 2 lurking in the cupboard. I'm cooking that onion in the same pan I used for the chicken on a medium heat with plenty of oil to soften for a few minutes, and while that's happening I'll prepare a curry paste, starting with 3 heaped teaspoons of curry powder, 3 heaped teaspoons of coriander powder, a teaspoon of cumin, and a teaspoon of garam masala powder. And I'm going to add 150 millilitres of water to those spices and give them a good stir. But before I add them to the pan, I'm adding a tablespoon of minced garlic to my onions, which I almost forgot. And as the paste goes in, the water we added to the spices will just lubricate everything and prevent those spices from burning, because I like to cook them for a few minutes in the pan to release the oils and smooth out the flavour before adding my other ingredients, and they begin with a 25-gram-ish piece of ginger, and I'll give that a fine grating, which will give me writer's cramp, but it will make for a super flavour profile. Add a teaspoon of salt to that, and a half a teaspoon of pepper, and a tablespoon of lemon juice, or I'm actually using lime juice here. And we're really getting into the final stages of this lightning-fast butter chicken curry now, as we add in a standard-sized tin of tomatoes, and for the lovely richness that we know from this curry, 200 millilitres of double cream. And I tell you what, let's give it a proper good stir and continue to cook to help all those flavours get to the finish line. But before we leave it for a long simmer, we need to get the chicken in there, don't we? So get the chicken in now. And we do want to let this simmer for at least an hour if you can. And as it cooks, it will reduce down. So you want to have around 250 millilitres of chicken stock or any other kind of stock on standby as you continue to cook. And this will help you to reach your preferred sauce thickness. And an optional couple or 3 tablespoons of ground almonds will add a lovely richness to the sauce. And because we've used double cream and those almonds, potentially, you don't really need to put so much butter in this, and around 50 grams is about right here. Although you can adjust this to your own tastes, of course. And this is a good time to go in and check for seasoning, and I'm adding in a little bit more salt here. But you can adjust all of the seasoning in this butter chicken curry to make it your own unique recipe. And I have to say, simmer in this curry, like I said, for around an hour at least, but more like 2 hours. It really takes it to another level, and you can prevent it thickening too much during that process with more stock before serving up with your fresh herbs of choice. And I used fresh parsley, but fresh coriander is also good if it doesn't taste like soap to you like it does to me. And hey, pairing this with my Indian paratha flatbread is just about the best way to eat this. Link coming up for them very soon. Easy, tasty, spicy, rich butter chicken curry. On your marks, get set, go and make this. Terra.